and great, dear friends, you're on Melonfonk. In this video, we'll talk about updating 18.0 in a nice background. But before the start of the video, as always, I want to say a huge thank you to these guys for getting into my video. And if you want to get into my next video, then everything is quite simple. You need to subscribe to the channel, put a like, write your top comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the Telegram. The link is as always in the description. In general, I will not drag out your time and enjoy your viewing. So, we will immediately turn to the world of news in the playground and see what new will be added in the next version. It is still unknown for me personally what numbering the next version of the playlist will have, but I think it will still be 17.5 or 18.0. We'll wait and see, although I have been leaning more towards the second option lately, since 17.5 is an intermediate version, but it seems to me that the next version will still be global enough and there is not much left to wait for it. On this occasion, you will write your version of events in the comments. But before we talk about future big updates, we'll talk about what's happening here and right now. And now we have interesting news, and this is that we have added an interesting new name to the Chalk Playground. Now the Chalk Playground is not called Melon Box, as it was before. And to be honest, no one called him among themselves, everyone called him the old way. Now the Chalk Playground is called Chalk PG, which in principle seems to be true, and this abbreviation is more suitable for the community Chalk Playground. And you may ask, why is Chalk Background now called that way, and not Chalk Background? And everything is very simple. It seems to me that the old studio has already patented just a name that was a skillful background before. And in order to get around their own, let's say, sticks in the wheels, they just took and came up with a new name that is as close as possible to the old version. In general, as it is, in my understanding it works. Well, you can write your thoughts in the comments. I think it's just an accident and the developers are dealing with it right now together with Google support. And soon we may see a future update, where we will see the great news that the old name has been returned after all. Well, let's briefly talk about what we should expect in a future update. And we'll start with the NPC block. Despite the fact that the developers in their answers to the questions indicated that there would never be new NPCs again, I think they still lied a little in their answer. After all, they added a robot that was not planned at all and was not announced in any way, but now they are constantly talking about new NPCs, and hints about them, too, by the way, are constant. Which suggests that there are still new NPCs taking place, and most likely it will happen that new NPCs will still be added in the next updates. And which NPCs am I still talking about right now? I think it's obvious to everyone that it's a cactus. Constant contests and constant drops among the developers themselves, which they directly declare in their Discord channels and Telegram channels. In general, this is quite interesting information, and interestingly they hint that the cactus will come out after all. Well, the following, by the way, are quite interesting NPCs that will be in a future update. In my opinion, this is dragon fruit. Yes, and it's not just like that. I think it's obvious, because there was an art contest after all, in which a new NPC called Dragon Fruit won. I think that the developers can, purely out of respect for the finalist of this project, put this NPC directly into the game in a future update. Write your opinion in the comments and would like to see new NPCs in the game. The next insider that the developers dropped right in their Discord channel is, of course, a new editor. The new mod and Dieter is actually quite an interesting event that really affects the meme background community. See how it will look now. Right now, on your screens, you can see exactly these frames again of the mod editor. In general, it's quite interesting when, as before, you just had to load each texture separately and load it for each part of the body. Now you will just need to load the whole texture and just draw the hitboxes to it. And so it will all be very easy to work. It seems to me that the new mod and Dieter will not only touch the NPC, it will touch absolutely everything. For example, weapons or maybe transport. Write your opinion in the comments. Well, to be honest, I really want to see this chain of events in future updates of the meme background. Well, the last thing that I think the next update will touch is, of course, a vacuum cleaner and maybe a couple of new things. As always, the new update is not just about voting. That is, yes, now we have added a new interesting gun from the previous vote. This is a paintball gun. And it seems to me that this will not only affect this update. I think the future update will be exactly the same. That is, the main feature of the update will be saved in one, let's say, direction. Let's say we just had an update about global coverage. Perhaps the next update will focus only around the new menu shell. This, for example, I do not know how it will actually be, but it seems to me that this is one of the very good theories and concepts for a future update. That is, something is being rolled out globally and a couple of interesting items are being added around it. Let's say there was lighting now plus a paintball gun, and maybe it will be in the future. Well, this is where my news, unfortunately, comes to an end. I think you were interested to learn about the new news in his playground. Excuse me for the tautology. Thank you all for watching, good luck to everyone, so far, and I remember my friend, as always, I'll see you one of these days.